Like I could stop posting on Twitter, I could stop posting on LinkedIn, I could stop posting on YouTube. If I continue to make that membership great for the members, I will continue to generate enough of an income to support the business, support my life, and that's like an amazing place to be.
If you know Jay Clouse, you love him. His content is so good. He's a podcaster, entrepreneur, and creator who's had incredible success with his membership community, The Lab.
It's generated about $460,000 in total revenue to date.
But if you look closely at what he's done to build that success, you might start to notice some weird things. For 99% of creators, the assumption is that more members means more profit and a better business. But if I went to Jay's website right now and tried to join his membership community, he would tell me no. In fact, he'd reject any of you who tried to join as a customer right now.
And there are 200 members on the standard and VIP tier. So that is a number that is actually capped. I've designed the community to be small and stick around that 200 member mark, which we've been at that mark since February.
Limiting the number of members in a profitable community sounds crazy, but it's actually a strategy that makes Jay a membership genius. We've spent hours and hours and hours watching his videos, listening to podcast interviews, and reading through his archive of essays. And what we found was something that's actually pretty simple once you know the formula, and has just 3 elements that you can remember with the acronym CAR or CAR. It stands for cap, annual, and relationships. But stick with me because I'll be explaining what all of that means, and by the end of the video, you'll have the know-how to use that strategy for your business. Jay's decision to limit the lab at 200 members is part 1 of the formula, and he said it perfectly on the Where It Happens podcast.
There's an interesting relationship to scale. You actually have to fight against the success of the product because huge numbers changes the experience for members who were there early. It becomes more difficult for you to manage.
This intentionally smaller community doesn't just prevent burnout for you as a creator, which we all know is a huge deal. It's also a selling point that can make people more excited to join because they know that you're gonna make them a priority. Jay makes it very clear on the lab's sales page that keeping the community small means that each member gets more of his time and more of his attention. But here's the thing, not everyone who wants to buy his content needs his specific time and attention. So the videos that Jay creates for the membership can be enjoyed by an unlimited number of people once they're published without adding any more work to Jay or his team's flow. So once the community tiers were full, Jay created a content-only tier of his membership that anyone can join at any time. He puts the limits on the community because he didn't want to get overwhelmed or not give members enough attention. But those constraints just don't apply to a content-only membership. It's almost like he created a second product with the limited community tiers as the bread and butter of his operation and the lower cost content-only tier as a bonus. There's also another way that the content-only tier benefits his business, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. First, no matter what tier of membership you pick, you'll notice something else on the sales page for the lab that might stand out as unusual, and that is no monthly option. The only choice to sign up is for an annual membership. And for some creators, that is terrifying. What if my audience doesn't want to commit for a year? What if they see the price and walk away? Well, that can very well happen, but Jay makes an incredibly strong case for why going annual only is worth that risk.
I'm a big fan for fewer recurrences because anytime you offer the ability for churn, there will be churn. So, if you are able to convince somebody to make a higher investment up front to try something for a year, I think it's easier to win that decision than 12 consecutive decisions.
By limiting the decision to just once a year for his members, Jay is able to spend less time convincing them to stick around and more time giving them a fantastic experience full of value. So when the billing cycle does come around, it's a simple yes. With an annual only membership, Jay has been able to retain his members at a rate of 90%. Here at Uscreen, we looked at our own data and found that across niches, users from monthly plans churn at a higher rate than users from annual plans. And it makes sense when you think about how long it can take people to feel the value of your membership. If I was learning how to play the guitar, A month of subscribing to Elite Guitarist would leave me feeling like a beginner because that's exactly what I am. And playing an instrument well doesn't just happen in 4 weeks. In fact, I've been playing piano for most of my life and I'm still not very good at it. If I had an annual membership though, and I used it consistently, by the end of the year, I'd probably have some visible improvement that would leave me feeling great about myself and happy to renew for another year of Elite Guitarist. A good membership doesn't just sell content and community. It sells a transformation. It sells who you're going to become by using it. And if your members don't feel that transformation by the end of the billing cycle, they don't have a strong reason to stay. Ensuring your members have time to feel the value also gives them time to build strong relationships with you and with other members, which is the final part of the CAR strategy and an essential part of any creator's toolkit. If you've never heard of the lab before this video, you might wonder, why are people so ready to commit a large amount of time and money to this membership? Well, the secret lies in something that starts long before they ever click to sign up. There's a marketing concept called know, like, and trust, which in short says that a potential customer has to know you, like you, and trust you before buying anything from you. It's why I'll pre-order a book from my favorite author without thinking twice. But for an author I've never heard of, I might wait until I can check it out from the library. With the author I know and like, I trust that the new book will be worth the money. But with the author I don't know, I want to see reviews or maybe invest less to figure out if it's for me or not. With Jay's audience, he builds relationships with people through his YouTube videos, his podcast, and his email list. All of those touch points means he's able to give a ton of value, which is a reason to like and trust him. This relationship building is what the cap and annual parts of this strategy are built off of. Without the relationships, it would be much harder to convince people to commit to a high ticket yearly membership. But because he's mastered know, like, and trust, Jay managed to completely fill his membership and has a wait list of over 80 people. And remember that content only tier we talked about earlier, even though it generates income, he also uses it to continue relationship building by offering those content only members the unique benefit of first dibs on standard and VIP spots when they open up. It's his way of showing appreciation to the people who are willing to pay for content while they wait for a community spot. Of course, with a great relationship built outside of the membership, keeping it real and value-filled inside the membership becomes extra important. But a private community is a different beast than public channels like here on YouTube. And that's why we've created an entire video breaking down the elements of a successful paid community. And you can watch it by clicking on the screen or in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.